I'd like to thank you and welcome to the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, where we'll be discussing our licensure and certification tracking system. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Sorry for the delay, we had a little technical difficulties. My name is Greg Lewis. I'm with the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services in the Bureau of Licensure and Certification. Today I have my chief, Janelle Pecano, standard surveyor Denise Cole, and two IT specialists, Sean Reed and Patty Inman, to assist me with any issues that I may have. Just to go over the agenda, we're going to discuss some of the LACTS overview, expectations related to the electronic submission of applications, creating a user account, user role descriptions, provide a demo, what to do if you encounter an issue, and provide you some contact information as well. The previous LACTS, or licensure and certification tracking system, was LACTS 2. It was pretty much just an internal-only application with very limited access and functionality. It was based off an access program through Microsoft. The current one, which I refer to as L3, this third version of LACTS was redesigned and enhanced, which now makes it available for external use and to allow for online-based applications. As you can see here, this is where the user will sign in with the password. Also, if for individuals not wanting to, facilities not having an account, they actually can create an account as well as just do a simple search and just get general information. This will be used by the public. Why submit electronically? You have your own personal home page, which is referred to as a dashboard. With that dashboard, it will provide all the facilities that you have applications for, such as if you have a community mental health agency, as well as type 1 or type 2 or type 3 residential facilities. It eliminates the guesswork of when the application is received by the office. You'll be able to see right on site when you'll be submitting it, so you know that it was submitted, but you'll also be able to follow the process of what's going on with your application, if it's being reviewed, if it's been opened, if it's been closed. It will also provide more flexibility for the providers to review and update information, such as any contact information related to emails, if the director change, if there's a phone number change. Let me go back there one. You also have, as I mentioned, you'll be able to monitor the process of the application, see if it's open, closed, if it's draft, pending review. You'll also be able to see the application type, if it's a new one, if it's draft, if it's pending review, draft, and the date that it was submitted. So you'll actually have a permanent log to see what took place with your application. The expectations of applying online. Electronic applications is voluntary, but strongly recommended. The goal is to make the process easier and user-friendly for everyone to use. The timelines will remain the same, so if you are required to have your application in 60 days prior, you're still expected to submit that 60 days prior using the online process as well. If you ever run into any technical difficulties, there is a user manual that is available through PDF that was listed on the front home page that you can consult to at any point. So you can see some of the things where we created some drafts of some different information here. Right here, the first column is just going to tell you the action where you can view it, provide the license number, facility name, facility type, the status, the application type if it's an update, new, renewal, the application date, and who actually submitted the application. So once you assign someone with your account, it's going to actually provide the name of the person who actually submitted the application in. So we're just going to use this first one here as an example, a haven for kids. Once you click the view, it's going to go in, it's going to provide you the different type of information related to it. So it's going to use status date, the license number. In case you haven't realized that the actual license numbers now come with a prefix. With this new system, it is going to give us more ability to run reports and track better information. So they have prefixes. Community mental health, for example, is going to be 01 dash and then your current license number. Private site, for example, is 07- and your current license number. Here you can see the facility name. You can see the facility address. If there's a different mailing address, that's going to be listed. It's going to tell you what type of application they applied for or are applying for. They're also separated by tabs, so you have the facility supplement. So for each application or facility type, it's going to have its own requirements. So the tabs may actually look different depending on what type of application you are applying for. We're going to the facility supplement. With the facility supplement tab, it's going to ask you the same type of questions that it does on your application. Only thing that's different is just the formatted way everything is placed, and this is now electronic. This is if you want to add a service, remove a service. And you select the service that you're looking for if you made an error. Each page will have to be saved individually in order for you to actually capture that information. Certification status, here you are, you have the pending review. It gives you the current status date, meaning the date that it was changed, your current issue date, your expiration date, and who the assigned surveyor is. This way you actually know who your surveyor is for that facility. You can also add staff. So if there's any staff members that you need to add, you click there. The first name, anything indicating with an asterisk are required fields. So you'll add the first name, the last name, if they're active or inactive. If you currently have an active staff member and they're no longer there, you would just unclick the active the button there. You can add any other information in regards to their license or qualification type, and you will click Save. This shows any affiliations that you may have. You can add a county board. If you're a community mental health agency, it will also tie in with your residential facilities. So you can have your community mental health agency as well as all your facilities tied together as one. It also provides the site locations. So if you have different sites, it's going to list those under your community mental health agency as well. Any contacts that you want to add. You can add your contacts. You can add your titles and email address if they're the main contact or if they're the secondary contact. This is another great feature. With the application process, you will be able to attach files. Listed here are the attachments that you are able to use in regards to the different documents you can provide. The file sizes are limited to 2 megabytes, however. So if you were to go to and add a file, you go down to Add Attachment. You select from the list here what type of attachment it is. This will help with the labeling process. So if it's a license and permit, you click that. If you want to add any additional information to it, you can type that in there, and you will click your Browse button and go to where that file is located. And then upload that attachment. Then you click back to the application. This also gives you the status and history. So to tell you where it was in the draft preview status, pending preview status, when it was submitted, and also the draft status. So it's going to go in declining order. Also provides a change history. So it gives you some type of information in regards to how the history of that application went. With this, you also have access to WEIRS if you are inputting if you need to submit an incident. You have this feature here where you can actually go to that web page as well. But you'll be logging in under it'll be a different user account that you'll be using there. Questions was asking, what is the building funding? The building funding is actually a field that is used internally. This is used in regards to any adult care facility grants that may have been issued. What I've logged on to is actually our systems people test area. So some of the fields you may or may not see, primarily you will see probably about 90% of them. But with the building funding, that is for any funding that may be tied to an adult care facility that our capital management area is tracking.
Do we use it also for certified agencies, building funding?
Right.
We could have capital funding as well.
That's correct. If it comes from our capital area and they want to track it, then they will actually supply us with that information. We will add that information onto it for their tracking. You will receive an email, and it's going to indicate, it's going to be like a billing summary. So it's going to give you a little ticket or email, a voucher. It's going to say, hey, please send in your payment to this address. And I can't recall if it indicates the amount. It does not. It does not provide the amount that's required, but it's still going to be, there's no increase in fees or no decrease in fees. So whatever the fee was previously, it's still going to be that same amount for the private psych hospitals, for the community mental health agencies, for the adult family home, adult group home, and the residential care facilities. So it's going to give you a coupon, and we're going to ask that you send that check along with that coupon so we can be able to match it with your online application. Once that is received and everything else is in good order, then we'll proceed further in the application process. But until that check is actually received, your application will not go through until it is completed. That makes a complete application. Now, in order to create your account, once you are ready and you feel more confident, or you actually can start your creating your account now, you want to log into LACTS, which is lacts.mh.state.oh.us. If you just do that there, then if you go to the screen where I attempted to log in, there is a create a user account. So once you do the create a user account, you will be able to start your process. What will happen is once you create your user account, we will be alerted on our side, and we'll do a verification process to make sure you are who you say you are. Once that is approved, we'll approve your user, and you will receive an instant email notification that you have been approved to go ahead and start your application process.
So it's great for LACTS. There's actually a couple ways this can work.
Mm-hmm.
If it's someone who already has a licensed facility, when they're going through the user registration piece, it will prompt them to enter in the facility that they're after this screen. Actually, it will prompt them and say, does your facility already have a license? If so, at that point, they would enter in that license number, and then with the prefix that you mentioned earlier, the new prefix, and then that's where they would need to wait for administrator verification. If they don't have a licensed facility at this time, as soon as they would create their user account, they would be able to do a new application. So there's two different ways, just depending on if you have an existing facility or if it's a brand new license, that the system would route you, depending on what you need to do.
We're requesting that one person be the facility administrator and complete the information for the registration user account page. And as mentioned, once it's submitted, it will come to one of us as administrator for approval. These are the numbers that I referred to with the different prefixes. So whenever you're doing your online application, and actually this point going forward, this will actually be a part of your license number or certification number. So 01 represents the Certified Mental Health Agency. 02 has yet to be assigned, but 03 is the family home, 04 is the group home, 05 is the foster, 06 the residential, 07 is the private psych hospital. So whatever current license, 4-digit license number you have now, you would just include the prefix in front of it to the one that corresponds to the type of program that you operate. And at the bottom there is actually the example given there. So if 0123 was your agency number, certification number, license number, your new one will be 01-0123. If it was a hospital, if it was 4567, it's going to be 07-4567. Call at 614-752-8880, or you can send an email with your concern to licert@mha.ohio.gov. If you send it to that email, it is monitored by more than one person, so that way you'll get a quicker response than sending me one general email. So as I mentioned, send it to licert@mh.ohio.gov. That goes for any question in regards to LACTS or any question dealing with licensure and certification. The survey processes still will remain the same. Only thing you're doing different is rather than sending a paper application, you're just submitting it online. Right where it says print certificate. Only difference is between the hard copy that you will receive and the one that will be generated from here. It will give you a copy, it will give you a PDF copy. You can open or save it. And once you open it, you're going to get the exact same one. However, on the actual site, it's going to say printed online. So it'll just be a copy. It's going to say printed online right here. Whereas the original will actually have the director's signature on it. So that should actually help, because I know a lot of facilities like to have that for any accreditation or insurance purposes or something like that. They can go in and get that as a quick copy if needed. But I'd like to thank you in regards to attending this presentation. We hope that the LACTS system will be utilized and user-friendly for you. It will actually be a resource for you.